Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for July 11th. We are looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair first. This pair did gap down at the open on Sunday, retraced that gap, closed lower. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 81.20, possibly as low as 79.50. Look for some resistance around 80.60 and look for some support around 80.00. Now the Euro-USD pair, this pair did gap down, has not retraced it. We do have an 89.1% chance that it will retrace that gap prior to the end of the week. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that. Potentially going as high as 142.99, possibly as low as 138.45. Look for some resistance around 141.05 and look for some support around 138.75. Now the pound-US dollar pair, this pair came right up to it, didn't quite retrace, had a pip or two away from it, moved lower, closed below previous support. Looking for this one to move down overall, possibly on a reversal going as high as 161.05, possibly as low as 157.60. Look for some resistance around 159.50 and look for some support around 158.75. Now the U.S. Swiss, this pair closed, gapped up, closed lower, filled that gap fairly quick. Overall, we're looking for this pair to potentially go up and hit resistance around 0.8400, possibly moving down and hitting support around 0.8315. Overall, this pair is moving sideways. Now, as far as news announcements go, we have actually quite a few. We actually have quite a few news announcements for this next session. We have the German Consumer Price Index being released, which will affect the euro. That's at 2 a.m. Eastern Time for June. Consensus on that is that it has moved from 2.3% to 2.3%. So it's pretty much held for the Consumer Price Index. Now, we also have the the CPI for the pound being released at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time for June. Consensus on that is that it has held at 3.3%. We also have the European Bank doing a stress test, summary release basically, at noon. So that'll be interesting to see what that report has to say. We also have the Fed releasing the minutes for the FOMC announcement. Pretty low impact due to the fact that they usually talk about why they either held rates the same or moved them, and that's already happened, of course. But that is being released at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We do have several announcements from the Chinese. Basically, we have the real GDP being released for the second quarter. They're showing a decrease from 9.7% to 9.5%. So that could be negative news for the Chinese. That's being released at 10 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, if you go over to the U.S. Canadian dollar, I know we typically don't look at that one. We do have a swing trade set up, even though it doesn't look like it, but we do. The middle bar actually has a lower high. It's fairly close, but we do have a swing trade opportunity. Looking for a buy right here, and then looking for it to move on up. Now, where can it potentially go? We have a couple of areas that we need to keep an eye on. We have one here. We have another one here. That would be the absolute first area. And then kind of a further target would be up in this range. That would be definitely a longer target. Looking to buy this around the 197.09 mark. Several pips above the 0.0 level, so we shouldn't get whipsawed into a trade due to that fact. First target's about 42 pips up. Next target is around 59 or 60 pips up, and then if it fully makes a good run from there, could go up as much as 150 pips. So I would use a risk to reward of about 1 to 1. Use 42 pips to 50 pips, somewhere in there. for this trade. Definitely go to break even when it hits this first one is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy here, and then when it comes up to here, look to go to break even, and that way I have a free trade. And as it just trails on up, I will lock in profit, along the way at key points along that route to the upside. Well, I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.